that's why we crunch data, because
Yep.
things come alive when you crunch data.
Yep.
Information comes alive. I tell people all the time, you don't have to tell me the story, just show me the numbers, because the numbers tell the story.
Absolutely.
I don't have to hear the story. Hey everyone, I am Sheldon Brown, your local realtor, coming to you another Thursday night as we talk about the San Antonio market, and we look at the market data in San Antonio, and we not just tell you, we not just show you the data, but we also tell you what the data means if you're in the market for buying, selling, or investing. Tonight I have Carl with me. Carl, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey guys, my name is Carl Silva. Very happy to be on your show, Sheldon. I am a marketing director basically for Silva Property Group, which I own with my brother. And really love digging into the data on the real estate market here in San Antonio and just trying to figure out what's actually happening and what's in people's minds right now, which is super important when you hit the negotiation table, to just know what the market's doing and know what's acceptable. So this is just an awesome show. Can't wait to get started.
Awesome. Hey, Carl, I can't tell you, I'm just always excited. Every day I think about being on the team with you and Jonathan. It's just a wonderful synergy there. All right, we're going to jump right in. I'm going to start my screen share here. All right, so what we're looking at on our screen, we're going to dive right into the San Antonio market data. Okay? And as we dive right into the market data, what we're looking at is the data for all price ranges, for property types, single family detached townhomes, condos, and manufactured. And we're going to just stay with all square footage, all bedrooms, all bathrooms. And then over to the right side, we're going to look at, we're going to break out new construction and pre-owned a little later on. All right. So as we jump right into this data, we're going to talk about the average sales price, right? The data point I'm showing right now, Carl, is the average sales price in August 2022. And as you see the breakout there, we have single family detached on an average is at $352K. Townhomes on average is $296,000. Condos is $199, and manufactured we have at $145. What do you think this is saying to our buyers out there?
Well, I see two major things. One, and we talk about this all the time, look at that blue line up there. These are the single family detached homes. They're just regular, they're just homes, regular family homes. The detached can sometimes be confusing, regular single family home. And there's just so much hype about the market crashing, and I just do not see it. We look at this data every single week, sometimes multiple times a week, and it's either a flat line or it's not doing too bad. It's just gradually decreasing. There's nothing crashing about the real estate market except for the interest rates, which is just a complete other topic. So I think that blue line is important. I also think that these two lines down here, the lighter green and the gray or the black there, the condos and manufactured homes, if you are in the market for something and you've considered a condo or a manufactured home as an alternative to a single family home, at least for now, which by the way, they make amazing rental properties if you just want to get into something until you find a home that you like, or until prices come down or interest rates get better. What this shows me is that condos and manufactured homes right now are actually experiencing somewhat of a crash. The values are going down, bad for sellers, great for investors, great for home buyers. If you can't get into a single family home because of the interest rate, because of your approval amount, because you can't find a home that you're willing to purchase, because it's not exactly what you want, start looking at condos, start looking at manufactured homes, at least in the interim, until you get into what you really want. Because right now, the home prices are going down quite a bit, and you can get into a condo or a manufactured home for a great deal. Not to mention, most manufactured homes you'll be putting outside of city limits, which means less taxes. So what do you think, Sheldon?
I think you're dead on. I mean, as you mentioned earlier in your conversation, you're saying, when you hear, kind of the hype in the media, we are somewhat comforted, or really not comforted, but we're kind of calm because we're always coming in the back end and checking what the data is telling us. So when we're speaking with our clients, we don't have to run around with, you know, our head hair on fire and, oh, the market is in whatever the media says. We just say, hey, let's go to the back end, let's check the data, and let's
Mhm.
let's let's show you what is actually happening and not what we're hearing that's happening, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we spend so much time on our team, just crunching data, looking at data, talking to
Yeah.
people about what the data is
What's
saying,
what's happening? You can see here. This is monthly. This is a monthly graph.
Yes.
It's bumpy as hell. This is
It's,
how often the market swings like this, which is why it's so important for us to be going over the data so often, because you can't just go 2 weeks, 3 weeks and think that everything is the same as it was. It's not. It's constantly changing, as you can see here.
yes. And I don't want anyone watching this to think, oh, we're never going to see a change here. This is, condos and manufactured homes, they're just on a dive. And I see townhouses going up. This is just one point in time. If you look at just in July, right? Townhomes was on a decline. So you could have
Mhm.
seen that and said, oh my gosh, townhomes are declining. We're not buying a townhome. But look what it's doing right in August, just 30 days later, right? And that's why we
Yeah,
tell our clients,
and now it's coming up.
go ahead, Carl.
And then it started coming up, to your point.
And then it started coming up. And that's why we tell our clients, listen, we are looking at that. And now this is just a snapshot over a 12-month period, looking at it month by month. But as you know, we
Yeah.
can stretch this out 3 years, right? We can, and then we can stretch this out 5 years.
Mhm.
And then that's how we can begin to tell our clients, if I put a straight line, if I put a ruler on this graph, look at the trajectory overall. Don't let's
Yeah,
not get anxious because of one month's data, or something you hear in the news. You're always
exactly.
gonna have home prices moving in the upward trajectory, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what that shows, is like we're looking at 2 years here, and no, it has prices haven't gone up, or values haven't gone up as much as they probably should in those lower bars.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the data over a 5 year period, like you just pointed out, it's constantly going up. And what we should do at some point is look at the percentage in the past 5 years of where values have increased. The stock market is right now 8% is hoping and dreaming in the stock market right now.
Mm-hmm.
I bet that the housing market is getting between 8 and 10% increase in value year over year over the past 5 years,
I
which
mean,
makes it a
yeah.
great investment. So, but here's another silver lining kind of point of view about the condos and the manufactured homes values going down. Condos and manufactured homes, sorry. You're talking about people not wanting to invest in them because the values aren't going up, but the values going down and staying down as an investor, especially someone who's planning on using it as a rental property. I don't care so much about that, because I'm not trying to up that much on a manufactured home or a condo, because it's just not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get cash flow and rents,
Yes.
which is going to happen no matter what the house is worth. No matter what the condo or the manufactured home is worth, I'm still going to get the same amount of money for rent, unless the rental market crashes. But if my property value goes up and if I start getting higher appraisals, guess what that means? More taxes. As an investor, that's a no-no. You don't want higher taxes.
Yeah.
You don't want your properties to improve in value unless you're in the equity game, unless you're trying to borrow against that for your other investments. So this may look bad for manufactured and condo home buyers, who see appreciation. Not going to happen. But for investors who want to get in while the prices are going down and while they stay down, and have those prices not get appraised so high like the single family homes are, you're going to save yourself in taxes. You're going to get just as much rent as you would with a regular home. This is a good sign for investors.
That is, and I love that you capped it there. You said, "Hey, you're gonna get the same rent." Okay, and and at a lower price. You're commanding the same amount of rent because the person that can't rent the single family, or the person that cannot purchase a single family, this is where the opportunity, or the regular single family detached, this is
Yeah.
considered an opportunity for you. Okay, that's how people should be looking at it. This is an opportunity because we're good. It's just a natural sequence of things. This is just how the market moves. But if you look at the trajectory over time, it's a constant direction up. It's a constant, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you have to think about, like, when you for the investment standpoint, you want to invest in recession proof things.
Yes.
Manufactured housing, think of the cheapest way that you can get housing that is still, livable. It's not just a shack. It's
Yes.
manufactured housing, or maybe something else a little lower than that. But manufactured housing is one of the cheapest ways that you can have a roof over your head that you can be proud of. And it doesn't matter what income people have, they can typically afford a manufactured home. So if people who are making money to be in the middle class or the upper class suddenly lose that job, suddenly get laid off, they
Mm-hmm.
can no longer afford a single family home and they need to buy a manufactured home. It's still a great investment to have a manufactured home, because you are always going to have a renter. No matter
Absolutely.
no matter where the economy's at, you will have a renter that wants to rent that manufactured home. And my last point on this, because I know we need to switch over to another graph. If you have not seen a manufactured home recently, like a 2020, 21, 22 manufactured home recently, you should go see, because you will literally be shocked at how nice these things are now. I was shocked to see how nice these things are when I first walked through one of the more new ones.
Yes.
And I guarantee you, if you want a rental property at an affordable price, I'm not the only person in the world who's shocked by how nice these things are. The stigma
Absolutely.
can, the stigma can go somewhere else about them, because anybody else who's trying to rent, any potential renters, they will also walk into this manufactured home and be amazed at how nice it actually looks, like a real home. And people's
Yes.
minds are going to start changing about manufactured homes. They really are, I promise you.
Yes.
With the price of manufactured homes going down, I'd say it's a great time for investors to get into manufactured homes.
Just just one quick point. Just over the past few months, I've moved people out of regular homes, single family detached homes that wanted some space for their family, their kids, etc. Young couples, right? We just getting ready to close on one, 3 acres manufactured home. They love it. Okay, great
Yeah.
school district. Did another one earlier this year, 32 acres manufactured home, young couple. They just don't want to be in the city. And I've been kind of studying that. I'm withholding my thoughts on what I see the trend with that is going, but that's just in just the last few months. So that's just something that I'm watching. People are starting to think differently
Yes,
when it comes to manufactured homes
absolutely.
at
And as
large.
soon as it becomes more acceptable, guess what's going to happen to that line?
Oh yes, that's gonna start going north so fast you can't, like a freight train.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
So if you want to get a manufactured home as an investment property, do it while the values are low. Do it while the values are staying low, and pay less taxes, because no one can tell you the future, but I guarantee you, just like Sheldon said, people's minds are changing about manufactured homes, and that line is going to
Mhm.
start going back up.
Absolutely. Hey, let's jump into the days on market data. That's an important data point. So we're going to jump over and we're going to look at the average days on market here in the area. So as you look at the days on market, and obviously this data is all over the place, right? When you're looking at it, month by month, right? Because you're taking just such quick data points. But look at this, right? Days on market for single family in August, we're looking at 34 days on market. Townhomes are at 45, condos at 66, and manufactured at 35. Tell me, what do you think this is telling our sellers out there, Carl?
Can you move the cursor
Yes.
off of the data? Yeah, that's fine. I can see the lines now. Um, Manufactured homes are volatile, y'all. I'm not even going to touch that because that just seems too up and down. There's no rhyme or reason to that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about single family for a second. This is so this is 2022 right over here, right above month's supply. And the days on market has gone down, which means people are buying homes faster.
Mm-hmm.
I, it is going up a little bit here. It's going from 31 to 34 there at the end. So days on market are going up just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just another illustration of the market not really crashing. Look how flat that line is. People are still buying homes as fast as they were 3 months ago, which is when we
Absolutely.
started hearing about the market crashing and stuff. Um, but I will say this,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of what we hear is talking about the national market, which may be experiencing its own thing. But as far as San Antonio is concerned, and I tell investors this all the time too, because we're still so affordably priced compared to Austin and Dallas, San Antonio is still a great market to buy in. We're not seeing what the rest of the country is seeing. We don't see this crash happening or in the near future. If anything, we're just plateauing, we're just normalizing. And I can't stress that enough. Home value great, and there isn't a crash in sight. I think what's
Absolutely.
happening is people have higher interest rates, so they're being really, really intentional about the homes they're buying, and it's taking a little bit longer for people to make these decisions.
Yeah, and and as you're mentioning, we see the volatility in manufactured homes here, right?
Yeah,
But what I saw real quick as I looked at July and then I came over and I looked at August, I started thinking, is this an indication of really buyers saying, okay, we see something happening over here in single family. We don't really know, single family detached. We don't really know what it is, and coming over here and really picking up some of those manufactured homes? Or, as you mentioned, investors starting to look and say, you know what, that's attractive. Let's go ahead and get some of those because we see that movement, right? We see that we see the drop on the manufactured side price wise. Let's go
well,
ahead
this
and purchase
is
that because at the 6% that I've got to pay, I'd rather pay 6% at this price, right? And let the single family detached that's still kind of trucking along at this price over
right.
here, let
Mhm.
that keep trucking along. But I see this drop here in manufactured. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and pick up some manufacturers because I'm going to get the same rents anyways. That's what my investor got. But then also I mentioned me having the experience with folks transitioning from single family detached, right, to manufactured. Some people are just looking for more space. Sometimes you can find that where you can get that property and a beautiful manufactured home, right?
Absolutely.
All the things you could do is with a single family with a manufactured home. So in my
Yeah,
estimation, I think manufactured, man, is it's a beautiful story. I didn't recognize that, but as I start looking at the data more closely, that's a good story.
yeah, and there's two things I see about the data here. Staying on the manufactured homes, it seems to me to be really reflective of very specific times of year, like this first the most recent spike in days on market that occurred during the summer, it looks like, and the next spike occurred during the winter, which are normally times when people have off from, from school, or they're taking vacation in the summer. Um, so I wonder what that says about the manufactured housing market in general, not just here in San Antonio. I wonder if the people who are purchasing manufactured homes, if they're just going away during these times and they're not thinking about buying homes, they're not buying homes, so there's just not as many people purchasing, so the manufactured homes are staying on the market longer. That's my theory, just looking at these spikes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I also see, can we go to a 5 year?
Absolutely. 5 year, and I'm gonna straighten out the 5 year a bit. I'm gonna do a
Yeah,
rolling 12 months on the 5 year, okay?
that's fine. So, Lou, okay, so let's take a look at condos. Condos were on their way up when 2020 came. People stopped vacationing, stopped utilizing their secondary home, things like that, which are primarily condos, both of those categories.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I th we could see a rise in condos.
Mm-hmm.
Am I reading that right?
Which data point are you looking at right now? Which
Condo.
so well, yes, condos, but are you looking at the flow of condos here?
Yeah, so I'm seeing the days on market going really far down. So that means a lot more people all of a sudden from 20 in the past 2 years, a ton of people have been looking for condos. Do you think is that the runoff from single family housing?
You know, I I can't be sure that's indicative of a runoff. I think that there's so I think about millennials and I think about every generation after millennials, and I think that that generation is also attracted to like areas that have condos, downtown areas, et cetera, et cetera. So I think this could be an indication of some of that as well.
Hmm.
um you know, I'd probably hold a bit on condos because, we just don't have a lot on the market in the areas that I'm serving, but what I know about them is that, you've got a younger generation that likes to be downtown, likes to be close to the areas where you're going to have those condominiums, and they don't mind paying the price, right? They don't mind paying those rents, right? They don't mind it, they don't mind having it's we're at a place where the generation today is more experiential, right? They like more of an experience than anything else. So they don't mind living in a small place and paying 2,000, 2,500 bucks as long as they're close to experiences. Okay? And because they like experiences, I think that's what you're probably going to be seeing continue with condos. And I'm thinking
Can we
and then if you're older as well, and you've probably worked all your life, or you're at that age where you're getting ready to retire, you might want to start considering, I want to enjoy my time, with my with my significant other, and I want to be close to downtown so we can go to the shops and eat and everything else.
right. That's such a conundrum I've never thought about before as far as condos and the demographics of condos. You have young professionals who want entertainment and enjoyment, and you
Mhm.
have senior citizens, retirees
Yes.
who want peace and quiet. And I've never thought about the juxtaposition of those two categories living together. I assume they try to stay in different buildings, but condos do have both of those markets.
Well, young professionals aren't typically loud, right? And because of and actually, retirees like being around younger folks. They actually like seeing
Yeah,
the younger generation. They enjoy that. You know what I mean? So that's a part of it as well. They
yeah,
just enjoy being around.
that's a
You know
good
what I
point.
mean? And
Yeah,
I think what you're gonna see is that continue. You know what I mean? Is you're gonna have that younger generation and then that older generation, but also, and then really it's the middle class and the families that really you see in the suburban areas more than anything else. Typically, once you get married, you're gonna want a single family home. You start having a kid or two. The condo thing is you're out of your dating years. You found your significant others, and then once the house is too big for you, you're like, let's sell the house and move downtown and enjoy each other. We've worked and we've had a good time. Let's go enjoy each other.
yeah, I agree.
All right. Um, Anything else on this one? Days on market?
Not much. I mean, this one's pretty simple here. We're looking at 5 years, 12 months.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'll touch on this real quick, I guess, before we go back to the consolidated view. Um, it it looks like, I mean, this is just really reflective of the slowdown that we're seeing. I mean, it's not that impactful. We're looking at condo and single family, which is the teal and the blue.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can see that little bit of a hook there at the end where the days on market is coming up, which essentially means that
Mm-hmm.
homes aren't getting sold as fast as they were.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, is except for condos, I don't see a huge spike in days on market, which would indicate that condos are seeing a major drop or some kind of crash. So neither one of these points show me that there's anything too drastic happening. And if you take a look at from 17 to 2020, just before COVID hit, or around COVID, when COVID hit,
Mm-hmm.
that's our baseline.
Yes.
That's our normal. That's our normal. So
Mm-hmm.
when you're looking at the graph, and every week when you're following the channel and you're seeing us go through the market report, when you see these little bumps and things, and look, there, oh, it's going up, but
Mm-hmm.
we just really have to ground ourselves and understand that all we are doing is renormalizing and balancing the market back out. And I know that it seems like hell trying to buy a home right now because I go through it with you guys, but this isn't the worst it's been. It's not the worst it's ever going to get, I'm sure. And really all we're doing is getting back to normal. What you see there between 17 and 2020, that's normal. And this huge drop in days on market, these huge spikes in prices, uh, if we start seeing any downward movement or upward movement, depending on the respective data points,
Mm-hmm.
it's, as of right now, there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to worry about. All right, we're gonna push into percent of list price because we want to see how the average percent of list price and how these homes are performing. All right,
Yeah.
so it's crunching the numbers. Okay. All right. So
4 minutes.
wow.
Four
Okay.
minutes. 4 minutes for list percent list price. 4 minutes for price per square foot.
Yes, let's do
Okay.
it. All
All
right.
right.
All right. So let's go 1 year and let's crunch that on a monthly basis and look at that. Right. Percent of list price coming into the summertime. We're looking at we're looking at 102% of list price for single family detached. And as we moved over to now, we're seeing 99.3% of list price on average for single family detached, 100% of list price for townhouses, 97.4% of list price for condos, and manufactured homes are getting about 91.4% of list price. And that's today.
I'm afraid to speak this into existence,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna follow for a couple more weeks. Let's follow this. But I am getting sold on manufactured home investing because not only are the values going down,
Mm-hmm.
which means they're going to be listing at lower prices, but also I can get it for close to 10% less than what they think it's worth. I
Mm-hmm.
get more property. The homes are looking badass right now
Mm-hmm.
with all the new things that they put in those homes right now. And we're not going to be paying a lot of taxes, or not nearly as much in taxes as we would be for a single family home, not to mention single family home inside the city. So out of city limits, lower taxes,
Mm-hmm.
lower values, lower taxes, but the rental rates are still really great in the right areas of rural San Antonio. My brother owns a manufactured home actually that rents for $1,800 for that square footage,
That's awesome.
which is close to what rental properties are renting for in the city. So I'm really interested in watching the manufactured homes data for the next couple of weeks and seeing if it maintains this trajectory because it could be a really good investment right now.
Yeah, it could be where you want to put some money right now. If you're sitting on some cash, you may want to put some money into that. I mean, it's looking good for the investment space for sure. All right. I noticed that single family detached townhouses and condos, they're staying pretty tight there, but just in June, a single family detached was getting 101.5% of their list price, right? But it's been a steady decline since then to now where we're seeing 99.3% of list price, right? Still
Yep.
strong, but I anticipate you'll see that adjust a little bit and continue to.
Absolutely, absolutely. And from the sales side, I think that not only does it coincide with our days in market data
Mm-hmm,
showing that homes are taking longer to sell, which scares sellers into taking less money
mm-hmm,
because they want to just get the home sold. So that corroborates all that. And secondly, I think the only reason it's even that high is because buyers are scared of not winning that offer.
mm-hmm,
Buyers are still offering more than they probably should be offering right now because they're scared of winning, scared of losing that offer or that home.
mm-hmm.
And so sellers are close to 100% of what they wanted for their home. It shouldn't be there. It should be closer to where manufactured homes are at. You should at least be able to negotiate 8 to 10% off of that price in a really good normal market. So, or terms, or negotiate terms in lieu. Um,
Absolutely. Terms is where it's at right now.
yeah.
It's
So I
price
think this is going to
price is
continue to
one, but
drop.
go ahead.
I think this is going to continue to drop once buyers and buyers agents uh, get a little more comfortable with negotiating again.
Mm-hmm.
That number will drop.
Yeah, I'm fully comfortable, my friend. I'm advising my clients. Let's go and we're gonna write the price in terms that's gonna make sense for us,
Yeah,
and we're gonna get what we want. Are we gonna honor our 4 minute timeline there? And
excellent.
we're
Thank you.
awesome, and we're gonna push in the price per square foot because we're always interested in seeing what the average price per square foot.
Yes,
All right, now check this out.
and this one's the best data, but we gotta look at where we July. Yes, okay, kick it. Go ahead.
Awesome. So July 2022, we're looking at that data price per square foot. And then I mean just true, you knew manufactured homes was gonna see that sharp decline. I mean, we're talking about 161 to $106 per square foot. I mean, look at that. I mean, how can investors not just roll into this space right now, knowing that they're going to get those rents at that price? I mean, this is just a phenomenal story. I mean, because if you look at everything else, they're staying tight. 174, 179, 174, respectively, for single family detached townhomes and condos, right? Those are staying tight. Those numbers are close.
Yep.
Manufactured homes, that's the darling of this entire session today, man.
Yeah,
Um,
it
so
really has been, and what that really makes me think about is veterans,
yes,
because veterans also qualify for manufactured home loans at 0% down. And if you do
yeah,
0% down and you're purchasing a home that's much cheaper, you're still getting close to equivalent rents.
mm-hmm,
We have, as you know, we have closing cost assistance in-house program that will
yes,
save any veteran on their closing costs.
mm-hmm,
Uh, the builder themselves, the manufacturer themselves may even offer some incentives for using their lender. For a VA buyer, for a veteran or active duty buyer, not
mm-hmm.
just a regular investor, manufactured homes would be a great investment opportunity.
Yeah, yeah, and I tell you what, listen, you know, we, we're gonna do a thing. We're gonna do like a little game plan. We're gonna say who's gonna be the winner of our session because manufactured homes turned out to be just the darling of our session today. I'm super impressed. I'm actually starting to think that actually I'm going to the closing table with a client of mine, and they're veterans and they're purchasing the manufactured homes. 0% down. We'll be at the closing table in a week. You know what I mean? So this is I am actually going to start promoting this to my veterans because I think right now it'll be a great time. You're talking about $106 a square foot on average right now,
Yep.
where everything else is $174 to $179 a square foot. I mean, it's a
Right.
steal. And then you're talking, you just mentioned how beautiful manufactured homes are right now. I mean, they're just fantastic. And you can get that and put it on some land so you have some acreage, right? I mean, just have some space as well. So, I mean,
Yep.
this
And the
is just,
Texas Veterans land,
yep,
it offers you land loans for veterans as well.
that is awesome. So, man, as a matter of fact, I'm going to go create my marketing piece for veterans just on that, man. That is amazing. I mean, uh, that's why we crunch data because
Yep.
things come alive when you crunch data.
Yep.
Information comes alive. I tell people all the time, you don't have to tell me the story, just show me the numbers because the numbers tell the story. I don't have
Absolutely.
to hear the story.